Alright, so that was a short clip from Seed from Food Inc. Notice. Yes?
I have a question about that.
Okay.
What exactly are they getting upset over? Like, what's wrong with feeding their own seeds? I don't really understand what they're
He's the man there who's cleaning people's seeds is getting sued for encouraging the other farmers who he's cleaning the seeds for. He's encouraging them to use their own seeds and cleaning their own seeds. And
So it's
using them,
illegal to use your own seeds?
according to Monsanto.
Then how are they winning? Like, I don't really understand, like, why
Because they're
winning.
just putting more money into the lawsuit.
Okay. But, like, how did they even get the patent in the first place? Because they changed it?
I honestly don't know that question, but just from what I've got from that and from other researchers, that's just what I've gotten out of it. So.
Okay.
All right, so that's the short video. Now let's get into some of the ethics of it. What was the first principle of ethics that we went over? What? Okay, autonomy, good. Okay, so autonomy basically is just, thank you, is as we learned before, the freedom of choice. So here's the problem, however. The farmers and the consumers aren't really getting freedom of choice because the products that are on the shelves, they aren't being labeled to let us know that they're GMOs, so we really don't have a freedom of choice because we're not really properly informed. So there's no real informed consent going on here. And the farmers have no choice because companies are forcing the farmers to take on the new products. And if they refuse and they end up receiving some of their seeds anyway because they're getting infected by the neighboring GMO crops, they get sued for it even though it's not their fault. What was the second principle of ethics that we went over alphabetically? Beneficence, okay. So beneficence, as we went over, is basically described as good intentions. And to start off with, this production of GMOs actually did start off with looking like it was meant for good intentions. In some ways it still is, like in the field of vegetables, like more nutritional value and trying to help create an edible vaccine now to bring to third world countries. But it's not, but when it comes down to like the farmers and stuff, they're being forced to use the new seeds, as I've said before and as it's shown in the video. There's no real like freedom there, and they're being sued if they refuse. So there's no real attempt to help the farmers, but there also isn't really an attempt to harm the farmers. It's kind of just warning them, but if they refuse, then they go after them. The third one we went over was non-maleficence, which is closely related to beneficence. Basically, the intent to not harm. I don't really know many people who intend to harm people with what they do, and I don't really see this as causing harm intentionally to people. Even in the case of Monsanto, they're not intentionally causing harm, but they still end up causing harm because when the farmers aren't doing what they ask, then they go after them and sue them and everything. But it's not right off the bat coming out and saying we're going to, like, coming out and just trying to harm them or anything. But one part that I really was fascinated about was when a problem occurs with a certain GMO product, most companies would take it right off the shelves and demand a recall and stuff. But some of the GMO companies actually are not really doing anything. There's actually one case in the video in the same movie. I didn't have time to show that video clip, but her son was killed because he got a disease from eating GMOs, from eating genetically modified foods, and the company didn't really do anything at all until her son was already dead, and then 6 months later they demanded a recall. So it took way too long for them to do anything, which ended up causing probably more harm to other people. Maybe not death, but at least damaging their health. And then when a problem does occur, they don't resort back to the old methods that were perfectly safe. They instead try to add more science and more technology into the process of developing the food to make it safe again. And then the final principle is justice. This one is really closely related to all the others. It's basically just a recap of what I've said before. Companies are not being fair to the farmers that would like to grow their old traditional crops. They're not being fair to the people who are harmed by these products, and they're not really they're not letting us know what is going on in the market. All right. We don't really have enough time right now for the quiz, so I'll just hand it out, and then you guys can complete it at home and bring it back class on Friday, and I can grade it and have it back to you on Wednesday. So I'm just going to pass out the quiz right now. You don't have to complete it this class period. But basically, that's my presentation. So thank you